guys, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm about to say the channel. But if you're watching from the channel, welcome back to. I am KayReenea, but if you're watching from my YouTube channel, I'm also Kay the Bookworm. And in today's very, very special episode, I have one of my favorite authors who I discovered through my friend Tiffany. I was in the process of writing my first ever book, and it's a sports romance, but it's football. And she came across your book through Amazon.
Okay.
And she was like, hey, I think you might like this, blah, blah, blah. So I wrote it. I was like, Nicole Falls, like, who the hell is that? So I got the first book, which is First Ever Book by You, Toss My Taking. And I liked it. I really did love it. I love Nico. I love Jitty's story. Definitely one of my favorite books by you. Definitely, it's also in my top 10 of 2020. I think it's in the top 5. Either top 5 or top 10. One of the two, I can't remember. So I got this book, loved it. And then I got Alexandria Warren's book, the second one, and then I found out you guys were making a third and fourth one. So I brought both of them on Kindle before I got the set. Then I got Bounce Back by you. But before I got Bounce Back, I got Natural Transition. I have all of the Holiday Sisters.
Oh, you got the collection.
And then I also got your first ever 3 books.
Yeah.
Then I have Last First Kiss. And then on my Kindle, I got all their holiday shorts.
Okay.
Fucking Fall in Love. And I was another one. Oh, and is it Release Tension?
Release Some Tension, yep.
Yes, I read that one too. So I have all your books. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not known this, I have Miss Nicole Falls.
You probably have more Nicole Falls books in your house than I got in mine.
You think so?
Absolutely. I don't keep copies of my own books.
Really?
On one hand, I was going to at some point, but then, at some point I was just like, I kept selling them. The ones that I was supposed to keep for myself, like I would accidentally pack them along with like When We Could Go Outside, with other books that I had to sell at events. And so, like right now, I think I got like a couple left from a sale that I did in early December, I think it was.
Wow.
But yeah, I typically don't keep my own. None of those back there. You can, if you're watching this.
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah. None of those are your books.
None of those are my books.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's actually bookshelf 1 of 2 that's in this room.
Oh wow! So how are you doing? How's life? How was your holiday?
I'm doing well. I am blessed to still be healthy and have not encountered COVID in any sort of way personally. So I'm taking that as a win because a lot of people around me have had brushes with the virus. So but I'm good.
That's good.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Like I said, COVID has been trying to come in to my house, whatever, but we've been knocking it out. So hopefully, I'm praying to God that nothing really bad happens.
Yeah.
And I just got my edits off my first book back. So they're trying to get that and stuff together.
That's dope. I remember
I signed with a publishing company.
You signed with a publishing company?
Yes. Reign of Literature Publications.
Oh, I know them. That's Aubrey and Sydney, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I mean, like, I shouldn't say I know them. Like, girl, they're my friends. But I met them November before last. We were all in Memphis doing an event, and I made acquaintance with Aubrey online, and so I knew her from that or whatever. So we finally got to meet in person, and then I met Sydney for the first time at that event, and I hadn't known her or of her work at all or whatever. But
I signed them last month on the 28th.
That's what's up. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How excited are you?
I'm nervous more than excited because I feel like my first book is more so out of my comfort zone. Like my first book came to me when I was at work one day, and it's a high school story. Mm-hmm. So trying to get back, I've been out of high school for 10 years. So trying to get my mind right with incorporating my high school experiences, but at the same time trying to keep it as relevant as possible for today's generation was hard, but I think I did accomplish it very well. So I really can't wait to show my work to the world and stuff. But I'm excited though.
That's dope. I mean, I would say that I remember when I released my first project, but that would be a lie because that was like almost 5 years ago, and I barely remember what I had for lunch yesterday. But I will say that you should definitely like take it all in, right? Because you worked tirelessly to get that done. And it was a struggle, I know, because you know anything that's worth it, you have to struggle in some sort of way in order, to get over it and to make it. And so you got the book done. You found a path to getting it out there, to getting it published. And now you are a bundle of nerves because you're like, okay, what is going to happen once it's out there? What are these people going to think? What are reviews going to say and all of that stuff. And I really want to urge you to not get too caught up in all of that stuff. Bask in the good feeling that you had when you first finished and you typed the end. Do you remember how you felt when you did that?
I cried. I did a video. I cried. I stayed up to like, I think I told myself my deadline was going to be before the year was over.
Okay.
So I originally gave my deadline to the 30th, but I was like, you know what, that's probably going to push it a little too much. So I did the 31st. I stayed up till like 10 o'clock that morning on the 30th. I didn't write the end until 6:22 New Year's Eve morning. So I was up from 10 a.m. the 30th until 6:22.
Almost 24 hours.
Yes, almost 24 hours. And like I remember doing like a little in and out. So I was like, I think I did like a video on Instagram saying, hey, like it's 3:30 something right now, almost done, blah blah blah. And then at 6:22, I was like, so I can fully finish my first book. I was crying as I was recording it. So I remember that feeling like till this day. Like 6:22 will be embedded in my brain.
Like hold on to that. Because what's going to happen is that the book is going to get out to the world and it no longer belongs to you. You have to separate yourself from that book, right?
Yeah,
it is now for the consumer. It's like you put your heart and soul and your blood, sweat, and tears into it. And once you give it out to them, it's no longer in your power to, I guess, be able to control how people receive it or anything. And I think that a thing that happens a lot, particularly with new authors, and I know I definitely experienced this as well, the moment you get that first bad review or someone doesn't like it, that overpowers all of the good things that you felt prior to. And it becomes sort of like a thing that you obsess over. I don't want you to do that. I want you to keep that shit out your mind, right? Oh, I'm sorry, is this a family show?
Go ahead.
But keep that out of your mind and always remember how you felt at 6:22 when you burst into tears. Because that's the feeling that you want to keep recreating every time you start a new project.
Okay, well, thank you for that information. I really, truly appreciate it. So my first question to you is, what made you start writing?
So I've always been a writer. I've always been a bookish kind of girl. I tell this story all the time that my grandmother's cousin actually was the first person to tell me that I was going to write a book. We had gone down to visit them in St. Louis, and I don't even know why we were down there, but it was a big group of my family members from up here in Chicago, and we'd caravan down. And so at some point, I think I was maybe 7 or 8 years old at this point. And so we had traveled down, we were at Pee Wee's house, that's her name. And I was like in the living room entertaining my younger cousin, Joey. And she said she walked in a room and she thought that I was reading a book to him because I was telling him the story and it was detailed and it was cohesive and, it made sense and everything. She thought that I picked up some book and was reading it to him, and it was just from my imagination. Oh, wow. And from that moment on, every time she saw me, she said, "You wrote that book yet? You wrote that book yet?" And it took like 25 years, but I eventually wrote that book. Just because I'd always known that I wanted to write a book. I did not know that it was going to be romance. I did not know that this would end up being my lane. And I definitely tried on a couple different genres before this, and they was not, girl, no, just throw them drafts in the trash, girl, because those wasn't it. But once I found my fit, it was like a light bulb. Aha, like, okay, this is your thing. This is your lane. All right, cool. Let's get going.
Cool. So, like I said before, my favorite book by you of all time is definitely Shall's Not Taken. I love Nico's point
Nico
of
and
view.
Jade.
It's the cutest couple ever. I also love how you kind of incorporate it, but not really incorporate it with love natural transition with Langston
Yeah.
and Naima. I thought
Yeah.
that was cool. It was kind of like a backdoor pilot to
Yeah,
the
so Natural Transition came first. That came out maybe a couple months before Shots. And as I was writing a Natural Transition, like Alexandra and I were kind of like brainstorming about the basketball books because we knew that they were going to be coming. But I did not know going into a Natural Transition that they would necessarily have those connections. And it wasn't until like I want to say like maybe like a third of the way through writing a Natural Transition where I was like, oh wait, this will be cute. Like, because I could sprinkle in these people, nobody would have any idea what they meant.
Yeah.
And bam, next release, now you're meeting these two random people that just showed up in that story. So
I thought that was dope. I also liked your first naughty novella holiday story. You had
Filthness. Yeah. Because we brought
I had to read that book twice to actually kind of get the connection because I did not get the connection at first with Bryce and like him being a coach for the show first. Then I read, I said, "Oh, that's okay. I got it.
Yeah. So Bryce wasn't mentioned by name in Shots or
At all.
Or one last shot. I was like, what's Alexandra's book's name? He wasn't mentioned at all, and that's because he did not exist. So he didn't exist until I started writing Filthness, and I was like, oh, this would be cute if I like tied in like another world. So I was like, well, okay, like, because I was trying to figure out what he did. Because I needed him to have a job that required him to travel quite frequently. So I was like, oh wait, he could be an assistant coach for the Trojans. Like,
I thought about it, I was just like,
throw him on the staff and give him a clipboard.
Yeah, and I was like, how does he know Nico and like Dre so well? And I thought about it, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
So what made you want to write those? Because you have Christmas, you have things you just came out with Thanksgiving this year.
Yeah.
You have Valentine's Day, and then you have a St. Patrick's Day and a New Year's one that I read all of them by the way. So what made you come up with those?
So what's funny is that I'm not really a big holiday person. I actually kind of hate the holidays.
Really?
But they're fun to write about.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's, I shouldn't say I hate the holidays. That's a bit dramatic. But I'm just not like, I don't have the same like spirit that I used to when I was younger. And so, but writing about them is super fun because people have all of these traditions. You get to see families coming together. People are happy. There's no drama. Usually there's no drama in any of mine. But it's just, just a good time. And so I did not know that they were going to be a series before I wrote Valentine. So, and how they turned into a series is my cover designer, when she wrote, when she created the cover for Valentine, she made it A Dirty Valentine instead of My Dirty Valentine. And I didn't correct it because I was like, oh, wait, A Merry Little Filthiness, A Dirty Valentine. Hold on, girl, we can do something here. So I was like, nope, cool, let's go, let's roll with it. And then after I wrote Valentine, I was joking around on Twitter and somebody was like, oh, you should write St. Patrick's Day short. And St. Patrick's Day is actually a really meaningful holiday for me. And that's probably something shocking to hear. But one of my aunts was born on St. Patrick's Day. We lost her almost 8 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so, but I'm like really close with her children. Like, if you follow me on social media and you see a teenage boy in my stories and everything. That's her child or whatever.
Oh, okay, cool.
So he's, you know, basically like my little road dog. You know, I'm always going out and helping out and doing things with him. And so I was like, oh yeah, St. Patrick's Day would work because that could be like a, you know, like a tribute to my aunt. And so yeah, man. So I brainstormed. I tried to figure it out. I managed to pull in people from the Holiday Sisters. I don't know if you caught that, but the the bar in A Good Luck Fuck is one of the bars that the sisters went on in the bar crawl. That's what
Oh, it is
Yeah,
Noel.
O'Neill's is
Yeah,
mentioned
Neil.
in
Yeah,
both
yeah,
books.
yeah.
And then who is the girl in A Good Luck Fuck? Clover.
Yeah.
Clover mentions Jay and his business partner, whose name I can't remember, but she mentions their venture. The Dude Where's My Bar, the
Yeah.
thing or whatever, because they ended up having to cancel it because of COVID.
Take over. Yeah.
So yeah, so that's how those came about. And then for the Thanksgiving one, I well, Arita hit me up on Twitter months and months and months, like between St. Patty's and Thanksgiving, and she was like, "Oh, are you gonna do, you know, another one of those sexy holiday shorts, yada yada yada?" And I was like, "Oh, you know, maybe." And every holiday that passed, I kept trying, and nothing would work. And so I was like, "Well, I don't want to end the year without adding at least one more to it." And so I polled my in my readers group on Facebook. I was like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna write a Thanksgiving short. I don't know what the story is going to be about
I
at
remember.
all."
I'm in that too.
Yeah, but I was like, but the naming convention just has to follow the rest of them, a blank, 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 or whatever. And so a woman gave a perfect title, and I was like, well, shit, I got to make this work because it's so good. Like A Feast for the Senses, like that is like, that's so good. And I didn't really live up to it, but you know, I was on my way. If
I like the book. I thought
if they gave me a little bit more story, I felt like the title really would have did what it had to do. But yeah, so that's how all of those pretty much came about.
I'm glad you brought up like your differences in books because I realized with you, which one is it? I know it's Last First Kiss, but I can't remember if it was Smitten or if it's Then Came You. The bakery in this book is also mentioned like in one of these books. I can't remember what
Yeah,
book it
so
was.
they all live in the same universe. So the people
That's my question. Do you write to where all your characters are in the same universe, or does it just naturally come out that way?
The majority of them are. So I'm gonna pull up the because I don't know anything about my own books. So I'm about to pull up. Oh, actually, maybe I should pull it. If I pull up on the computer, I'll mess myself up. But the Accidentally in Love books, Last First Kiss. Who else? It's like two other books, maybe. All of those. Oh, it's the New Beginnings, the Change Up, Restart, and Recovery. All of those.
We're going to talk about those books in a minute.
So all of those books all are in the same universe.
Oh.
They all live in the same town. They don't. All the people in them don't necessarily know each other. There is in another book of mine, Someone Seeking Someone Else. That book is also in that universe, and so some of the people cross over from series, or you'll see like the bakery, Dame's Bakery is in Then Came You, and it's also mentioned in Last First Kiss. You'll notice that I think the coffee shop is mentioned, Perk is mentioned in all of those books.
Yes, all of them, yes.
Yeah, and then so you'll see like little things like that. Like I'm currently writing a collection of short stories that features like some secondary characters from some of those books. Actually, do they all come from that same universe? I'm looking at my whiteboard. They do, I think. Nope, I take that back. One couple does not, but you'll see like different businesses that don't exist in real life that I've mentioned coming back around. You know, just because I would like to establish a quote unquote Nicole Falls universe. The town name is like It's like a portmanteau of like 3 different towns that I've lived in over the course of my life.
That's cool.
But they're all like essentially set in the suburbs of Chicago. So
that's interesting. So I'm glad you said
don't say that expressly.
I'm glad you said New Beginnings because that was the first, like, I think the second sports novel I read from you, and my favorite one out of all 3 has to be The Change Up, because it gave me the show Pitch vibes, the show that was on Fox called Pitch.
Yeah, so everyone says that,
and I was upset that they canceled it because it left me with a damn cliffhanger. We're not gonna get into that, but The Change Up has to be like my favorite one because it gave me like those types of vibes when I read the book. Was that your inspiration?
No, I've never seen the show.
What?
I could not tell you a solitary thing about the show, and apparently the girl who's on my cover kind of looks like the girl from the show. So all of this is wild to me because I've never seen the show, and I keep telling people maybe I should go back and watch it since I'm now done with the book. Because I have this weird thing about like not wanting to like consume media that's too close to whatever I'm working on, because I feel like I'll like incidentally steal or something. I don't know, but yeah, I've never seen Pitch. Is it streaming anywhere?
I think it's on Hulu last time I checked.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's so funny because everybody was like, yes, Pitch, and I'm like, okay, Zach Morris was in that, right? Like that's all I got for you. Like I knew it was about a black girl playing baseball, but I never saw a single. I'm not a real big TV person either.
Gotcha.
So I never saw a single episode, but maybe I should like go back and watch
Definitely watch it. I loved the reset. What was the guy? It was the main character. I can't remember his name. What was Blair's?
Blair's guy is he's not Langston. He's Leighton Lee.
Yeah, but I love the scene where they went back to his hometown.
Yeah.
And Blair had to put his friend in check.
Yeah, she had to
put him in check. And then when they went to his old house,
yeah,
and was starting to self-sabotage the relationship, I broke down because I kind of do that to myself when it comes to my relationships, quote unquote, whenever I do have one. I normally try to self-sabotage it and hurt myself before hurting them.
Yeah.
I love how Blair was just like, I'm with you 100%. Like, I don't care what happens. Me and you are going to be together forever.
Yeah. I liked writing them. That story, actually, I feel like I say this about everything, but that story, it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Really?
That's like the entire storyline. I don't want to give a spoiler, about the thing that happens in the beginning of the book that's sort of like the catalyst to Blair changing her life.
Yeah.
But that was because literal days before, the same sort of thing happened with a major sports figure.
Yeah.
And so, an unexpected, thing occurring or whatever. I don't want to say the person's name or the sport that the person played because it will give away the thing that happened. But yeah, so I didn't like that was the catalyst for the change of the story's direction. But I did appreciate the fact that it was able to sustain me and carry me through and like give me some sort of like perspective to structure Blair's life. So, and I keep talking around it. I might as well just say it because I had to kill somebody, and I don't like, because Corinne existed in another book.
Mm-hmm.
She just was not created just for the restart.
Yeah.
So, having to kill her was not my favorite because now I'm writing a story where she would have been around and she's not. And so I have to keep remembering that Corinne is dead.
Gotcha.
So it's, I don't know. It's messy. I don't like it. That's why I don't deal in killing people.
Gotcha. I understand. So my next question is, and I've asked this question when you and Alexandra had this live. I think you know where I'm going with this. Is Zeke getting his own story when it comes to Trojan?
Zeb?
Zeb, yes, Zeb. That's funny.
Yes, Zebediah is my next Trojan. I already know like a lot about his story, and he was so loud. So my nymph's book, Bounce Back, that's his sister. And he kept fucking talking while I'm like trying to get her story, and I'm like, bro, like it's not your season. Like
I have a feeling this is my theory. The way he was like portrayed in Bounce Back, he was very loud and boisterous and very like, I got all these girls around me, I don't give a fuck who, you know what I'm saying, I don't really care about relationships. I feel as if Kyra, who is Kai's agent, is going to calm him down.
I mean, I cannot confirm nor deny.
That's how I feel in my spirit. I feel that something's going to happen to where it's going to be like something how happened with Cajun Blue, or something's going to happen where they're going to be like enemies turn lovers. Something's going to happen between them to where they're going to have to come together at the end. But I'm happy that you said that he is the next Trojan, so you're definitely going to take it on my money.
Yes, Zebediah is getting a book, and everybody was like, you cannot, like, this man is never going to have a book because you named him Zebediah. And I was like, I am going to make a man named Zebediah sexy.
God, he was. I was so happy. That made my day.
Yeah, he's coming. Whenever we figure out what the hell is going on with basketball on the women's side, because we can't get anything going until we know.
Yeah.
Because we keep it contemporary. So,
yeah.
You know, until we know what's going on with the W, we really can't get anything going for the next season.
Gotcha. So I haven't signed up yet, but I will. You have a Patreon where you have exclusive stories on there. So can you talk to me about why you started?
Yeah, so I told myself near the end of 2020, that in 2021 I wanted to do something that was different, fresh, out of the box for me, creative. So I had been looking into, you know, things to figure out, okay, what are my options, whatever. And I'd been talking like way before then about starting a Patreon, but I was like, I don't have an idea for a sustainable thing that would make a Patreon necessary. And so I went back and forth, like trying to figure out what would I do. Like I was like, oh, maybe I don't know, like write a novel serially. And then I was like, ooh, wait, that idea has legs. Like I can essentially take the entirety of a year to write a novel, dole it out in bite-sized pieces. Whoever wants to consume it can hop on board and consume it. And then at the top of 2021, I already have a release for the new year because I've written the book over the past year. So I sat with that for a while just by myself. And I was like, I like this idea, but I don't really know like if anybody's going to, you know, rock with it for real. And so I think I pitched it first to one of my good girlfriends who's like the first person to know almost every time what I'm writing next. And so I pitched it to her. She's like, oh my God, like that's a really good idea. I'm kind of pissed I didn't come up with it because it's so good. And so then I pitched it to a couple other friends and they were like, oh no, that sounds like really cool. And so I was like, telling them the concept of it. And they're like, yeah, you should do that. And so I sat with it even after, you know, they had pretty much validated like that it was, you know, a viable thing. And then finally I was just like, okay, you keep saying that, you know, you want to do something memorable, you want to do something outside the box, like this just is it, like just fucking do it. So I am writing the books, I'm writing the chapters fresh. So I don't have I don't have this stored. The story will take its dips and trips and turns as the months progress. So the first installment is already up on my Patreon page, chapter 1 of it.
I'll leave a link below in the comments, guys.
And the second chapter will be up on the 31st. It'll be 2 chapters per month over the next year. with updates on the 15th of the month and the 31st of the month. Like you got a good government job and you get paid on them days.
Hello.
There's 3 tiers. So the first tier is $3. That's the basic patron tier, where you just get access to this story and nothing else. The mid-level tier is where you get access to the story. If I'm working on things, or if I'm like trying to piece some things together about other things that I'm writing outside of the Patreon story, I may offer, behind the scenes looks and things like that. Let's see what else is on the mid-level tier. Gosh, I can't remember. I know it's access to the story, behind the scenes. And I want to say something like one other thing. I'm so bad at this. I need to I open up the Patreon page so I can actually tell you what the details are, because my brain, she is.
No, you're fine.
She's what she is. And so, so that's the mid-level tier. That's like $10 a month. And then, what the heck? I'm trying to look at my page and it won't let me. Sorry, this is dead air. This is dead air. I got to keep talking because you can't just have dead air.
Why are you looking it up?
That's the podcaster to be coming out. Okay, so, oh my gosh, why is my thing not scrolling? So the mid-level tier,
okay,
$10 a month, right? Mm-hmm. So you get access to the story, you get access to drafts and works in progress, and then also behind the scenes content. Okay. And then for the highest level tier, which is $25 a month, you get access to the story, drafts to works in process, behind the scene content, a shout out in my acknowledgments for all projects that I'm releasing this year, and you also can have the opportunity to name a future Nicole Falls character.
Oh, wow.
And one of my friends was like, you are insane for offering that as an incentive. And I was like, nobody is going to join at the $25 a month patron level, so I don't have any problems with that. And then someone turned around and joined at the level one. So I was like, okay, well, I trust her judgment. And I hope that she don't give me no name like Earl. Earl. But Earl is actually my placeholder name for every hero before I give him a name. So I don't know why. I don't know.
It's in the next, but it's like what else? I saw on Instagram, if you don't follow her, that you have your calendar. I see right there, you have like the words and stuff. So what is on Nicole Falls' next book list for 2021?
Oh, so like what am I writing? Like,
yeah. Like what are what do you plan on writing for the year besides your page?
So right on. So I can't plan too far in advance because I psych myself out. So I plan for the quarter. Okay. So for Q1 of 2021, I am the project that I am prayerfully releasing this month is and this is exclusive content. So because I haven't said this out loud anywhere yet, or like on the internet. But I'm writing a collection of 3 short stories. It's called Run It Back. It's a collection of second chance romances. And they all feature secondary characters from previous Nicole Falls works. And I keep calling them short stories, but the first one is like 20,000 words. So I guess they're kind of like mini novellas. I don't know if they'll all track to be that length, but we're just gonna, revisit these people that if you've read enough of my catalog, they might like be like, oh, I think I know her. And so I have a recommended like reading list that I told people, like, if you want to be prepared for this, to come into it and not feel like you don't know who these people are, even though I'm introducing them to you very familiarly. And so I think it's 5 books on the recommended reading list. But it's because like a couple of the projects are like characters that appeared in 2 different projects. Yeah. So the first couple is from a short story in my first short story collection called Sparks Fly. I had a story in there called Pucker Up, and it's about these people who they are acquainted, they like grown up together or whatever, and they end up being put into this viral commercial where people are brought in to kiss a stranger. It's like for a makeup company or whatever. And so we learned that they were manipulated in a way that people around them wanted to see them together, and so they kind of forced the issue with putting them in the position to be at this place. So we first met that couple.
Story.
You said what?
Like a setup in love type story?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we first met that couple in that short story, and then later on, I wrote a novella about them called Switch That Bid, which was a part of a collaboration that I did with like 14 other authors. And so in Switch That Bid, though, you got to meet the twin sister of the hero and her guy. And so in Run It Back, they are the stars of the story this time. So you'll see, what's going on with the characters from the previous releases, as well as what's going on with those two. So it's that one. Also, I don't know if you remember from Then Came You, Patty's best friend, Raquel.
Yes.
She's getting a short. She's the one that's finished. Her short is finished. I really like it. I have a short story about her on my website, NicoleFalls.com. It's called 32 Bandanas. If you read that, you'll have a hint as to who her guy is going to be.
I have to read it off there.
And then, who did I say? Mo and Ty, Raquel and Eric, and from Someone Seeking Someone Else. The heroine has like her sister cousin, Tina, and Tina has a guy that she's been going back and forth with in her past. And so that's the story I'm writing right now, with the two of them, where he's tired of being her fallback fuck. So yeah, so that collection of second chance romances should be coming sometime in the month of January, prayerfully. And then the other, what's the I got two whiteboards. You can see that one right there. And then I got the one over here. And then the other project that I'm supposed to be writing in Q1, I actually have decided not to. Because someone else, like a writer that I'm acquainted with, she told me that she was writing a story that's essentially the exact same thing. And I have to come to terms with how I feel about that. So,
yeah.
So I can't give you too many details about that project. But the first thing that I was supposed to write in Q2, I think I'm going to push up, which is a set of novellas about three brothers whose initials are BDE.
Big dick energy.
You got it.
Yeah.
And I almost and that's something that was supposed to get done in 2020, but didn't. And I almost let that idea go too, because I saw a young lady, what's her name? Genesis, I think it is. Genesis Woods, I think it is. She has bigdickenergy.com, which is nothing like the novellas that I'm envisioning for the three brothers or whatever, but the whole BDE thing just fucked me up. I was like, it's too close, I can't. But I got over that. And so I think
it's novella, so they're so quick and easier. You're not gonna read them like that. So
so I think those brothers will be next, because I want to write a sibling series. I just have to figure out the hook. I don't know what their hook is. I also have another brothers duology idea that I've been puzzling on. I don't know if you remember in Shots, Nico and Jade are obsessed with a show called Let Me Upgrade You by Will and Way.
Yes.
And so I want to write about Will and Way. And so I have bits and pieces of their stories. I know the basic framework, I know the tropes that'll be involved. I know the names of their girls, but I don't know the super intimate details. And so I'm still trying to puzzle that out. So maybe Will and Way will be next. Either them or the three brothers, but we'll see.
You heard it here first. Exclusive. I gotta read Honesty with KayReenea and Kay the Bookworm exclusive with Nicole Falls. Yes. Thank you so much for doing this. I truly, truly appreciate it. I honestly was scared that you wasn't going to accept this.
What? Why would you be scared? I
got what I needed. I got Alexandria. I got Tamonay. Portia Dion was my first one ever doing this. I didn't get her through video. I got her on like my podcast. I got read. I was like, who else do I need? I was like, Nicole Falls. I read all her books. Why not? So I was like, all I can do is ask. And you said yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm always down to talk books, like whatever. And I'm not a celebrity, so it's not like you gotta like go through people to
Celebrity in
get
my
to me.
eyes.
Like, you just hit me up like, hey girl, you want to talk about some shit? And I'm like, yeah, let's go. Like,
So thank you once again. Guys, this is not the only one that you be having because I only do once a month, but this month I have two. So I have you, and then on the 31st, I have another big time author that I'm a fan of, named Cian Phillips.
nice.
So I have her coming at the 31st. So probably her to probably be out maybe the 2nd or the 3rd of February. This video will be out on Wednesday. So definitely make sure I leave you the link and all that stuff on there.
Yes.
But guys, definitely follow her on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure that if you are on Facebook, make sure you follow her Facebook group page because that's where she normally has all her information and stuff at. I'll leave everything on the link below. Make sure you sign up for her Patreon because I will as soon as this is over. And yeah, so thank you once again. And until next time, guys, have faith, have confidence, love you, always, always be you. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.